do you use any of your keyboard skills in the process of composing or in conjunction with your violin work? Maybe you could tell us a little bit about that.
Well, a lot of piano is like chords and learning the notes, and on the piano you don't have to tune your notes, you just play whatever notes it is and it will be in tune. So if you learn the scales and you learn all the notes on the piano, it really helps to get the fingerings on the violin, because on the violin eventually you take off the tapes that you start with, and some people don't even start with tapes, and so it really helps with the memorization and the muscle memory of the notes, I think.
Thank you, Ursula. Well said.
Ms. Frid, that was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing with us. And I'm going to pull a little bit more from your process journal. So your process journal, you spoke a lot about how your emotional journey, psychologically, how music affects you and how performing has been influenced, how your perception is influenced by performing. So what I found really interesting is that as you walked to your violin and started playing, I could sense your calm. And so can you speak to that? Because I watched it happen as you walked back and forth. This was more nervous to speak, I think, and then much less nervous over there.
I think for me, like, it kind of sounds weird, but I almost started playing music before I started writing, before I started speaking. So I think that playing music, it's just a lot easier for me, because talking, saying what I've written, especially since I play music with a group mostly, and I'm not very self-conscious as a group, so I'm very comfortable with playing the music that I play, and when I'm talking up here all by myself, it's kind of nerve-wracking. So if I'm doing something I'm more comfortable with that I do a lot, it's a lot easier. Yeah.
It was a beautiful presentation, so I wanted to congratulate you for that. I had a question regarding the way you learn music, because when we do concerts, many people come and say, wow, this is amazing. They play an hour and a half worth of music, and they do it with no written music anywhere. So what's your process of learning music, and how do you memorize an hour and a half worth of music?
I think I start out for sure not memorizing, and I will just start learning the song very slowly, especially if it's a fast song. And then after that, I will practice it a lot with the music starting. And then after that, I will practice it without the music, and I'll practice it slowly first without the music, then I'll keep going. And it really helps that I have rehearsals, because I practice with the ensemble a lot, so that's also very helpful. So I think it's just a long process, and it's a lot of steps. Yeah.
Yes, clearly a journey for you, Ursula. All right, let's open it up to the students. Lots of hands here. Go ahead.
Ms. Frid, do you plan on making a career out of this?
I like playing music as a passion, but I can't really see myself getting into the music industry, because it's a very large industry and not a lot of people make it in, so I don't think so, but you never know.
I think we should head to the sister straight up here.
So, Miss Ursula, so I know you really enjoy the North Shore Celtic Ensemble, but I was wondering, what's your favorite part about it? Why do you love it so much?
Like I said, it's like playing with my friends, and I don't really have to worry about homework or anything else. It's just my brain is focused on the music. So I'd say one of my favorite parts is just all the amazing time I get to play music, but also I really like performing. It's a really fun thing for me. I don't know, I find it really fun to perform with friends on stage, because then the attention isn't all on you, but yeah.
Miss Frid, why did you name your song My Journey?
Well, I said a bit about this in my presentation, but this song, I've never written a song before, and I've always dreamed of writing a song, so I think that the song is titled My Journey because, first of all, I didn't really know what else to call it, but I just thought when I came up with this idea, it just felt really fitting.
Great presentation. My question was, for someone who's never played music and who'd be interested in starting music, what would be your #1 tip for those people?
It depends on the age. I think if you're younger, you can get a lot in there before because your brain isn't fully developed, so you can like wire your brain musically. But if you're older, then I would say, like, I guess maybe watch some music videos of people playing the type of music you want to play. Just like take lessons if you want. I don't know, just experiment with music.
Miss Frid, is this your first time composing music?
I've played I've composed little excerpts, and sometimes we have to write our own little solos in the ensemble, but this is the first time actually writing a song.
Right.
Excellent job, Miss Frid. So you've played a lot of instruments, but is there any more that you would like to try in the future?
Like any other instruments?
Yeah.
I tried experimenting with the clarinet one time, and I didn't really play it for a while, but I think it might be cool to try playing the clarinet or the flute again. Yeah.
Very nice presentation, Ms. Frid. I have a question for you. How many days a week do you do regular practice, and will you continue in the North Shore Ensemble in grades 10, 11, 12 during your high school years?
The North Shore Celtic Ensemble practices about 2 hours a week, twice a week, so 4 hours total. And then I think I mentioned this, but we also have a few 6-hour rehearsals sometimes before our long shows. So yeah, so we practice for 6 hours a few times, and then I also do an hour violin lesson a week, and I practice at home about half an hour every day usually. I try, and then I also, yes, I will definitely continue the North Shore Celtic Ensemble.
What was the hardest part about composing?
About composing? I think the hardest part about composing was probably getting it done in time, because the music, like, I'll come up with it and it'll stay in my head for a while, but it's hard to get it exactly how I want it unless I do it in the right amount of time. So the hard thing was probably like staying on track and not lagging behind on my composition.
Great job. You talked about how you play classical for the technique and Celtic because you like it. Can you talk a little bit more about why you think it's important to have that classical background and what sort of technique you get out of that?
Yeah, so for classical music, I think it's different. Like for classical music, it's a lot of scales and it's a lot of slower songs or different rhythms, and I think it can be more complicated than Celtic music, but playing basic classical music is like very helpful for Celtic music because it teaches you to learn the notes without having to worry about like movement, because in Celtic music you have to move around when you're playing, and it also teaches you that, like how to work on the notes without working the rhythms and working on it faster. So I think, yeah, it gives you a good knowledge of the notes, especially.
Thank you for your presentation. It was wonderful. That was the first time that I've heard your composition, and so I felt very open to the kinds of feelings that it brought out for me. And my question is, what kinds of feelings, did you start with a specific feeling? Did it develop? How do you, like, what kinds of feelings does it give you now?
Well, I started out with like I wanted to compose a relaxing melody, something not too like intense or anything. So I think like I just started out with sort of what came to me, but now, yeah, I feel it's a nice, like, it's almost like, I feel like it's a waltz, so it could be a dance song, so it's like, it's a slow, I think, yeah, it's like, it's a very relaxing song for me.
Good job. Would you ever consider writing lyrics to your song?
I think that if I could find someone who wants to sing more, because I only sing for fun, but if I could find someone who wants to sing and who would want to work with me on writing lyrics, I think that'd be fun, but I don't think I'd write lyrics on my own.
Thank you. So any other questions for Ursula? You bet.
Ms. Frid, you went away to a composing workshop on Vancouver Island. Can you tell us what that entailed? And I know a little bit from you about how you started writing the song.
Yeah.
Can you go through the process that you went through about starting with that first walk that you went on?
Oh yeah, so.
And then all the way to having to learn how to write sheet music.
Yeah, so
that's a big journey.
At this Celtic ensemble retreat, we started out. We learned how to play music, and you're just given like 5-10 minutes to go off with just like our phones to record it, and just not even our violins, just so we can come up with the melody in our head and not have to worry about playing it on the violin. So yeah, I just walked around the site of the retreat, and I just like thought of whatever came to me, and then I recorded it on my phone, and I don't think I ended up using any of that, but then it was really helpful. It was really helpful to get experience with the composing, and then after that I worked on my song, and I came up with something eventually, but it was like the base of a song, but it wasn't exactly a song. It was like a lot of like scales, because what you heard, this is the finished product, but the first draft of the song was different. So I had to work on the music writing app that I use called MuseScore, and it was a lot of work, but it was helpful to have the app because you can write the notes on the computer, and it has a lot of features like the repeats and the other stuff. So
What's the app called again?
the app is called MuseScore.
Did that help you with the composing?
Yeah. So I composed my song on the.
Well done. That was amazing. The song was so moving, and you're so eloquent in your speech as well.
Oh, yeah.
I'm curious about, so you talked about that when you're playing Celtic music, there's a lot of movement as well. Can you expand on that a bit about how do you guys is there choreography involved?
Yeah,
How's
so
that work?
when for our first show, like when you perform, you move around a lot, and it gives energy to the music that you're playing. So for some of the rehearsals, the extra long rehearsals that we had, we actually have a choreographer, and we work on movement, and we practice the choreography a lot. We practice it, we first practice it without the music, without playing it, so we can get because it's the same, it's like muscle memory. Once we learn it, then we pick up our violins and we practice with the violins.
Did you ever crash and have a mix-up?
Usually, no, I don't think that's happened.
Well, you certainly are the expert here, Ursula. You have such experience now under your belt and wisdom, and we wish you all the best as you continue with your Celtic journey. So in the absence of any